What's that?
Okay, cool.
Does that not look good if you just edited that camera instead of this camera?
Okay. I'm supposed to use like finger guns too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They'll put the lasers in with the editing.
Awesome.
Here we go. 1, 3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome to the Culinary Studio at Jefferson Marketplace. My name is Cheeto, and today we're going to have our guest chef, Garrett, from the corner on Union show us how to debone a whole chicken. This is a great way to save money and to try to utilize as much of the chicken as possible. And with my introduction, I'm going to swing it to Chef Garrett.
All right, so right here we got a fairly large size chicken. And just to go over our base of what we have here.
Yeah.
In the chicken, you have 2 equal parts. We have the breast, we've got the wings, the thigh, and the leg. So normally what I want to do, depending if I get the chicken with the skin on or the skin off. If the skin's on, I want to take it right here between where the thigh meets the breast, and I'm going to just take this skin and separate it. Then I'm just going to take these hips with the thigh, and I'm just going to pop them out of place like this.
That sounds kind of vicious, but that's the best way to get through that knuckle,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So you always have a towel here just to dry things off, keep things clean. Don't use the towel for anything else.
Yeah.
So coming back up here to the breast, we're going to go right down where the rib cage is, get some of this out of the way. And for what we're going to be doing later for a chicken piccata, we won't need this skin here anyways, so we'll just go ahead and get this out of the way. For taking skin off, use as little of the knife as possible. You don't need to try to...
Yeah, it looks like it's coming off pretty easy.
Yeah. Once you cut it once, it comes off pretty easy.
You have a pretty sharp knife there.
Yeah, it's a real sharp knife.
And for those who are watching, the skin is pretty loose on the chicken already, so you're gonna just let that chicken kind of just use your fingers to get through there. So.
Right, just let it come off as much as it can.
And Chef, do you typically cook your chicken breast when you do with the skin on, or is it mainly skin off?
It just depends on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
For the demonstration later, I'm going to do a chicken piccata,
Yeah, that's right.
and I'm going to keep the skin off.
Yeah.
At the corner, we have what you call an airline chicken breast, where you leave this part of the wing on, and it goes into the breast, and that we leave skin on when you're roasting. It just depends. If you're like roasting in the oven, you want to keep the skin on. Most of the bone if you can, but this is going to be kind of a pan-seared, pan-fried type of deal, so we're going to take the skin off for that.
Cool.
So next, right in here, you're going to have a wishbone.
That's right.
And just to see if we're lucky, we're just going to pull this guy out, Nope, not lucky today. So, after you get that guy out of there, it'll just make life a little easier.
Yeah. And is this kind of the same process if I was to debone a whole duck?
Duck.
Pretty similar?
It's the same thing. Same thing with a turkey. A few Thanksgivings ago, actually I'm going to grab a glove.
Yeah, sure.
I deboned a whole turkey for my fiance's family when we cooked it sous vide. Now you're going to cook things differently, like your breast is going to cook at a different temperature than your legs. So I had to debone the whole thing, cook it separately. Sous videing is a long cooking technique. But they were astounded that someone actually knew how to debone a turkey.
Yeah.
I've never seen it before, really.
Yeah.
Most people don't.
Yeah.
But getting back to it,
Nice.
right down here, the middle of the breast,
Mhm.
we're just gonna run our knife down that. You'll find a seam towards one side and just run it right along the breastbone.
And obviously, it's important to do it in this order, right? With the breast first and all that stuff, just because.
Yeah, you can. It just depends on how. There are many different ways
Yeah.
to debone a chicken, but this is probably the easiest classic way. And again, just keep running it down along this breastbone, and then it'll just come right off
Nice.
like this.
Barely any meat left on that bone.
Exactly. That's what you want.
Mhm.
So, for right now, I'm gonna leave this
Mhm.
wing on. We're just gonna find this joint right here, and we're just gonna come right down through it. So this, we got the breast and a wing on right here. We're gonna do the opposite right on this side. Just run your knife as close to the bone as you can, so you leave as much meat on as you can. And again, find this joint right here. Just run down your knife.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing Chef Garrett's doing too is keeping things on the cutting board instead of lifting anything up, and that gives you a lot more control too. So it's really
Yeah,
helpful to keep
absolutely.
things on the I don't want to say on the ground, but on the cutting board.
Right. So, this is a really important part. We're going to take some of the skin around here, just so we can see what we're doing a little better. So right here, we're going to save all this breastbone and such for stocks and things of that nature. But really important, it's really easy to lose, is right here on the thigh as it comes around the back. You have something called the oyster.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This is an oyster of the thigh. It is probably the most tender, best part of the chicken. It's only about this big, but keep it on there if you can. So you can see, we're just gonna run our knife in through it. There will be like a little pocket. And just get as much of it as you can. Then run your knife down. Then we got our leg and our thigh. We'll do the other side.
While you're going through that dark meat, Chef, could you kind of give us, tell us the difference about, the difference between white meat and dark meat and how, flavor and all that stuff?
So, white meat, dark meat are gonna cook at different temperatures. Normally the breast is gonna, or the white meat is gonna cook at a higher temperature, probably for just a little bit longer. The dark meat also, if you're checking your chicken to look at it, sometimes you'll be like, oh, is this maybe a little pink? People are, scared of seeing pink in a chicken. The dark meat is going to be a little darker. It might seem that way a little bit more, but take a little less caution when you see that.
And that's why you got, when you said you did that turkey in Thanksgiving, you deconstructed it and
Right, and you
just to make sure you got the right cooking temperature. Yeah.
cooked it at different temperatures because your legs are going to get dry. I mean, or your
the breast can
breast
get,
can be very dry before the legs will be. So you want to keep an eye out for that. So coming back to these legs here, we'll cut the drumstick off. What I like to do is there's just a joint right here. I like to cut just right through that joint. And you'll find it probably right about there. And you just cut right down through. We can find it. There we go.
You have a preference, chef, of which part of the chicken you like to use the most?
No, they're all pretty versatile.
Yeah.
And they do all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
So.
What kind of chicken dishes do you have on your menu at the corner?
So we would use, I would take this bone out right here for the thigh. Actually, I'll do that right now.
That'd be great.
Is just run your knife down the thigh bone. And I'd use this for chicken and waffle. I like to,
nice.
I really think that the chicken thigh is probably the best part of the
Same
chicken.
here, yeah.
It really is, it's just the best part. Run your knife underneath the bone, try to clear off as much as you can, save as much as you can.
Besides the different part of meat that you guys use for your chicken and waffle, what other things different do you do to that classic recipe of chicken and waffles?
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I'd use a boneless, skinless chicken thigh.
Yeah.
And we just garnish that with a little honey cayenne,
Oh, nice.
whipped cream,
Yeah.
and a salted caramel, and we do a green tea waffle.
Oh, nice.
So we just take that bone out. We'll just save this over here
Yeah.
for stock. And then this is our thigh right here. Best part of the chicken. So, I already showed you the leg over here, and I'll just show you over here. We just have the wing. A lot of people just right here take this wing off. You want to find right in between the joint is what you want to do. And then we got our whole wing right here. Take this little piece off, set him over there. We got our nice whole breast. Now, on the underside of the breast, just a little bit. Now, either people like the thigh or you like the breast, and then this is the best part of the breast,
That's right.
is your tenderloin. Right on the inside, you just take that off. So anytime you are eating a chicken tenderloin, it's really only this small piece of the whole chicken, of the breast.
Wow, that's why it costs so much more than a regular
Exactly.
chicken breast, right? Yeah.
And so we have a dish at the corner. It's just a pan roasted chicken with some horseradish with mashed potatoes and a gremolata. And we use an airline cut, which instead of taking this entire wing off, we're just going to take right here off.
Can you explain what the gremolata is? Is that a sauce or is that?
Oh, so a
condiment?
gremolata is kind of like, not really a sauce, it's more of a condiment.
Okay.
It has some parsley,
Yeah. Okay.
Lemon zest, olive
Okay.
oil, some garlic in it
Okay.
and stuff. We put some pistachios and some
Oh,
other
okay.
stuff
Yeah,
like that.
got it.
Yep. So this would just be your airline breast.
Mm.
And that's really all there is
Nice.
to breaking down a chicken and deboning partially.
Yeah, that looks really great. And you know, this whole chicken, typically you can find a whole chicken for about it depends about where you're shopping at, you know, or what type of chicken you're getting. But it's typically about 90 cents to $1.50 a pound versus getting pre-cut chicken, which your chicken breast typically ranges from $3.99 a pound, sometimes $4.50 a pound, and your thigh is about $3 range. And so if you do it yourself, you can use all or as much of the chicken as possible, and you make amazing recipes with it. So yeah, thanks for joining us, and Chef Garrett, thanks for showing us how to do this.
No problem. Cool.
Thanks for checking out this video. If you want to see more recipes or see what we're doing in the culinary studio, check out our Twitter handle, Facebook, and our main social media website at OU Dining.
If you just follow us on Instagram at Corner Union Athens, check out some things that we do down there.